Katharine Viner's piece was responsible, reflective commentary at its best, a mission for journalism in a time of crisis, the 18th of November. Her analysis of our time speaks to us all. Many readers will share feelings of displacement and confusion, even of despair. It appears that ordinary citizens recognize that the political and economic landscape we inhabit has changed, and is changing, at a superevolutionary rate, one that we fear outstrips our ability to affect events. I became a supporter of The Guardian because, having worked in the media myself, I understand that the old, advertising funding model is no longer fit for purpose. I figured it was time to put my money where my mouth would like to be. Are we at a crossroads, or at a fork in the road, or has the road simply petered out? Our sense of hope, a hope that Katharine addresses directly in the piece, rests on our collective ability to navigate past the dilemmas we now face as a community, indeed as members of a common humanity. The future is a dark glass impenetrable to our sight. How we finally tackle the myriad political issues we face cannot be divined. Current political and ideological hostilities, for example, around Brexit, income distribution, immigration, race, seem to have spontaneously materialized, or rematerialized. Yet they are perhaps symptomatic of the era's uncertainties, rather than being irreversibly regressive. They provide a refuge of sorts from the political hurricanes blowing through the world's polities. Independent, fact-based journalism is a vital, indeed perhaps the vital, protocol in our search for a path to a workable future. We must create institutions that sustain us as a species, and at the same time repair the anthropogenic ruin we have brought upon the natural world. This is urgent business, and it becomes more urgent every day. The work of The Guardian, and the many other responsible media organizations that map the contours of our politics, is central to this effort. That's because here, in these pages, reporters and commentators can focus on the medium-term and long-term problems that demand solutions in the short term. It's clear that, at this time, we cannot trust politicians to do this. John Clamp Chiang Mai, Thailand. Katharine Viner eloquently expounds the history and values of The Guardian, quoting C.P. Scott, "The newspaper has a moral as well as a material existence." This prompts me to reflect that the Paradise Papers have highlighted behaviors that, although strictly legal, are morally reprehensible. I would expect then The Guardian to lead a crusade to make them illegal too. The article concludes with a ringing statement of The Guardian's mission, to use clarity and imagination to build hope. An increasing number of people are realizing that the decision to leave Europe was a monumental mistake, made largely through ignorance of its consequences. Lord Kerr report, the 10th of November, and others have shown that it is not irrevocable, and that there is hope. The Guardian could lead here too. Peter Greaves, London. Katharine Viner's important piece on the past, present and future of The Guardian, revolves to a degree around the paper's relationship both to liberalism and to the Liberal Party. When I first started reading the paper in the 1960s as a young North Londoner, I was not yet aware that what I was part of, and became a strong advocate of, was a system that promoted liberal values, in education, equality and so on. The paper's outlook fitted. At that time, The Guardian also supported the Liberal Party, which I certainly did not. In more recent times, the split between liberal social values and liberal economics has become clearer. Many of those who back the former and oppose the latter are now among the anti-austerity supporters of Jeremy Corbyn. A challenge for The Guardian is surely to secure that news, and mostly, young generation as readers of the paper in some format for the next decades. Keith Flett, London. Larry Elliott, Northern Lights, A Bold Brexit Vision. The 17th of November sees Brexit as a pivotal opportunity to make the grand shift of power to the north. Katharine Viner, the next day, examines, with great clarity and a strong sense of history, the opportunities for The Guardian in today's time of change and dangerous flux, asking, among many other questions, how The Guardian can catch the mood of the people and turn it to beneficial account. She would like to know how the paper can become more representative of the societies it aims to represent. Only connect. Let The Guardian return to its roots. Let it become again the powerful mouthpiece of the North that it once was. Let it even reintroduce Manchester to its title. Let it draw on what is no doubt a rich reserve of local journalistic talent with first-hand knowledge of the challenges and opportunities of the northern regions. Note the plural. It would set a practical example of making change in a profession more ready to tell others what to do than to take positive action itself. It would enjoy the rejuvenation of leadership challenge and the breakout from the metro bubble. And its staff would probably enjoy a lifestyle of which they can only dream at present. Or, if not, let Larry Elliott write a further article, explaining why his ideas are good for nearly everyone else, even up to Parliament itself, but not for The Guardian. And no, my tongue was never further from my cheek. Richard Burdnunham, Northamptonshire. These are indeed times that Edward Armour would recognize. I appreciate the work and courage of The Guardian like at no other time in my life. Amid the swirling winds of misinformation and churlish attacks on decency, The Guardian represents hope and democracy. It is not an easy task. Investigative journalism is risky, especially now. I appreciate your light in the darkness. Good night and good luck. Vince Smeaton, Madrid, Spain. How wonderful to read Katharine Viner's article. It was lovely to see that you believe that we are all of equal worth, and so I would urge your correspondents to use inverted commas if they feel the need to use the phrase high net worth individual when describing a member of the super rich club. It may well be the correct term to use, but as we believe we are all of equal worth, surely it would be appropriate for your journalists to invertedly comma these individuals to avoid giving the impression that some are of more equal worth than others. Deirdre Burrell Mortimer, Berkshire. Join the debate via email guardian.letters@theguardian.com. Read more Guardian letters. Click here to visit goo.com letters.